0383 or 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
Hi, this is Lotus. Join me every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia for Unrestricted. What we don't talk about, what we should talk about, and what we will be talking about. Don't forget to join me every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Rev-Up St. Lucia for Unrestricted.
It's now time to bring you Unrestricted, hosted by the beautiful Lotus. Lotus, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, X, YouTube, Radioland, everyone.
We're online?
Good online, yes. Good morning to everyone. Welcome back to Unrestricted.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Yes, good.
I have another topic that is I'm sure nobody sees it coming. It's very simple, but I think it's going to be a powerful discussion. So I welcome our callers to call and indulge. I really like it when the callers give their feedback. This morning we're going to talk about following your instincts.
Aha. That's a good one.
You like that one, Andre? Do you always listen to your instincts, Andre?
No, I didn't.
You don't?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? You're getting better?
Yeah.
Now that's good because I like that. I remember as a young person, I still am. I have a rebellious nature. So even in that, with instincts, I used to be very rebellious. Even when my instincts tell me to go left, I would say, no, I'm going right. Because there is,
Yeah.
And over time, as I have grown, I have come to recognize that the power of listening to your instincts is something so great.
Yes.
So I want us to talk about...
Let me just give you an official welcome to the club of instinct rejectors.
I don't do it anymore.
Yes.
I don't do it anymore,
Yes.
Andre. And I've found that from the time I have been intentional about listening to my instincts, my life have become so much better.
Yes.
Because it's almost like 100%. Although we'll talk about, there are times when in the research it says you should not listen. Like there are times when you have to put logic and you have to, and also there's a difference in overthinking, because some of us really overthink.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily our instincts. We sit and we really overthink things, and then we blame it on the instinct. But we talk about the instinct. What is the instinct? What are the signs of intuition? And that's what it is. When you feel that, sixth sense, they call it, many people have referred to the intuition as a sixth sense. Like your other five senses, it can cause physical signs in your body as follows. You may have tension in your body or have an annoying thought that won't go away. When you have that feeling, your gut, they tell you your gut feeling, you just feel like that uneasiness.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you have a pit in your stomach. Sometimes it's so bad that you have that pit in your stomach that you should not be doing that, or you should be doing something, or so they're saying that it's actually physical. Sometimes you actually feel that pit in your stomach.
And just a quick point, because you said it a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
the problem is that we think that we are overthinking.
Yes, sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes so it's about differentiating whether or not you are an overthinker or if it's your instincts speaking to you. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up before a frightening experience. A lot of times
I've never
people,
had that one.
yes, sometimes there's something going to happen, or you feel that you shouldn't go inside of there, or you shouldn't go with that person or something, and you feel that that physical change in your body where you actually feel the hairs stand. And of course our callers will call and tell us of their experiences and how they know it's instinctual, their intuition. You feel like you should avoid a certain area, not knowing why, only to discover you would have been in danger if you were there. That has happened. That has happened to a lot of people.
And you say, boy, it's a good thing,
Well, of course. I mean, could you imagine? Unfortunately, there's a plane crash, and you were supposed to be on that flight,
mm-hmm.
and you missed the flight.
Now, the thing about it now, sometimes again, the overthinking, or some people think that they have a premonition. I remember, let me just give you a quick little story.
Yes.
I remember many years ago, there was supposed to be a group of children traveling to another country, right? They were going on a camp,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And one person said that they had a very, very bad feeling
Mm-hmm.
about the trip.
Yes.
Now imagine how the children were afraid after hearing that story about the bad feeling about that trip. But that thing was planned. It was planned a long time, and the kids were really looking forward to going, albeit they were afraid.
Okay.
So what do you do at that point in time? There's somebody who is well respected says, hey, I have a bad feeling about this flight, that something bad is going to happen. So they decided to still go ahead.
Okay.
And nothing happened.
Nothing else.
Nothing untoward happened.
Well, you see, sometimes
So-
again, maybe it's an overthinking. Maybe again, who knows? The intuition can be wrong as well.
Exactly.
You know, so sometimes you
yeah.
think of things, and that's not what what's going to happen. So the research is saying you should follow your instincts, but balance them with critical analysis and data, especially for complex or significant decisions. It is often beneficial to trust your gut for quick decisions and creative thinking and situations involving personal safety, but avoid letting them override logic or expertise when a situation requires careful deliberation and measurable outcomes. It is much better to trust those instincts and test them later than to dismiss them, out loud. Sometimes you just dismiss, and that's what I used to do before, like my instincts. And I think too, it's also what I'm finding out, and even in the research it said that it's a matter of getting to know yourself as well, so that you can tap into the awareness of your your body, your emotions, because a lot of times we don't know who we are. We don't spend time with ourselves. We dismiss everything. So when you do that, there's no connection between your senses and yourself in terms of how well you listen to your body. Even we'll talk about even with instincts when it comes to health. Some of us, our body, it keeps telling us things and we ignore it.
Just a quick little question. I've often heard that women have this sixth sense. Right?
I don't know if it's just women,
Okay.
but
All right.
but I think all of us, we have it, and it's a matter again of tapping into it and listening to ourselves. Because if you feel like there's something wrong with your throat or there's something wrong with your air, and you keep on, the same thing keep happening. The one thing that could happen is that a lot of times there's a fear of actually listening to our intuition. So we do something, or we believe, some of us are hypochondriacs, where we believe that something is totally wrong, and even though the body is telling us that something that we need to check, we are so fearful that we will not check. We'll just continue to move on and ignore it, and it will be nagging at us. That's what it is. It's nagging at us, and it's saying you should go to the doctor, you should call somebody, you should ask a question, and we keep on putting it off. And sometimes by the time we decide to finally answer, because of the constant nagging, it's probably too late.
Yes.
So you're saying that it's important to take the time to listen to your intuition.
And I like the point you made a while ago, that we don't really get to know our own selves.
Yes, I think so, Andre.
So we're not, when we get these signs or whatever, these feelings,
you cannot recognize, or you
not
don't,
sure.
yes,
Yeah.
there's no landing. It's almost like I always attribute that to my spiritual connection.
Yes.
I think that if there's an example I heard one time that made so much sense. It said that because your children know your voice, when you call them, you don't even have to announce who you are. They just know that's Dad. And it's because you have a relationship with them and they know you. That's why they recognize your voice.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with the voice of God, like the way people say it's the voice of God, or your intuition. If you're listening and you have a relationship with yourself, you know what I mean? Then you can recognize when something is saying, don't do that. Or that kind of thing.
Yes.
But if you're not paying attention at all and you're just going on your merry way, or you continue to ignore your instincts, then I actually think maybe the function becomes a little weaker.
Just to stick a pin there, I know you have to continue, but how do we connect with ourselves? What's the best way of doing that?
Oh my God, Andre, this is a powerful, packed question. I mean, the experts, I'll leave it for the experts, because I'm not, in terms when you go deep into all the cognitive, the brain things, and but I think again, it's spending time with yourself. Simply put, trying to understand what moves you. You know what I mean? What do you like? What do you not like? What triggers you? What doesn't? Why things trigger you? You know, understanding maybe the trauma that you have gone through as a child, whether you're carrying it still as an adult. What can you do? I mean, it's a myriad of things, Andre. And we must be intentional. I think that's the word. Because if you're not intentional and you do not care, a lot of us do not care to find out who we are, really. But we want people to love us, and get to know us. But if you spend the time to understand who you are, then you tap more into understanding yourself, and I think that connection grows.
Yes, and I think maybe a lot of us are fearful of doing that because we may not like what we see.
Well, I mean, argument
because that would mean now we need to change
it.
We need to change it.
Well, that's the thing. But the argument is that all of us have a good side and a bad side, the way people put it. So there's advantages and disadvantages to who you are. And I think we are always growing, we are always changing. And if you are interested in becoming better, then you will be intentional about doing something about it.
Yes, I agree.
You know.
I agree.
Anyway, Andre, give the numbers out so we can,
Okay, the fixed line is 572-9710. Fixed line 572-9710, or you can choose the WhatsApp platform, which is 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. So, Lotus, what are we talking about today?
Following your instincts.
Following your instincts.
Or not.
Or not. Yes, following your instincts or not. Remember the number, fixed line 572-9710. Or WhatsApp 287-0971. You know, it would be great if our listeners call in and give their little stories.
Of course, yes.
About when they
followed it and it really, saved their lives.
Yes.
Now we're going to look at when to follow your instincts, and in the research, it gives us a set of examples or times when to follow your instincts for immediate safety. Always listen to your gut feeling. If you feel something is wrong or dangerous in a situation or location, as it may be a crucial warning sign. So sometimes you actually get the warning sign before, and that comes from your intuition, how you feel. Maybe a guy invited you on a date and he invited you to his house, and you're like, you know what, I don't know him well enough. I don't think I should be going over to his house. And your gut is telling you don't go, but he's telling you such nice things. And and we were like, oh well, he's sounding so nice, he's telling me all these things, he's going to do this for me, cook for me, but something is just telling you, no, you do not know this guy, you shouldn't be going to his house. You understand?
Yes.
And as a female, when you get that type of intuition, that that sixth sense that's just telling you not to go, a lot of women would tell you when they went, something happened. Maybe they ended up doing something that they didn't plan to do, or they felt that they owed that guy something because they were in his house, or there was a fear of if they did not do it, that something else would happen. So in that situation, for immediate safety, follow your gut feeling. For quick, creative, or simple decisions, instincts can help you make fast choices and are useful for creative problem solving when there isn't clear data available. So sometimes you don't have the data, Andre. You don't know why you feel that way. You there's nothing that tells you that you shouldn't do it. But for some reason, you just feel it's a quick decision and your instinct is telling you immediately no. I have, again, come to realize that following it immediately is a good thing. You understand?
Yes.
It's a good thing. You when your mind tells you no immediately, you should say no.
You have a call, by the way?
Have a call?
Yeah, let me just give the numbers again. The fixed line is 572-9710. Fixed line 572-9710. Or you can WhatsApp 287-0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. We have somebody on the WhatsApp platform.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Unrestricted.
Andre.
Hello
Yes.
there. Good morning.
Good morning, Andre. I'm going to give a story, actually. You said you would like people to give a story.
Yes.
And funny, it was very young. I was 11 years old. And I was taking care of my siblings. And my brother, he was about 8 months. I'm not 100% about the month, but he was a little baby. And he fell asleep. And my instinct said, bathe him. I don't know if it was, if I don't bathe him, I might get in trouble or whatever, but just don't put him to bed without a bath. And I did, And by the time I was done with the bath, going and put him in, the house was on fire.
Sure.
And the house burned down like,
oh my goodness.
there was not, except the walls, the concrete beams,
Mm-hmm.
that alone stayed. And if I did not listen to my instinct, my brother would have died. Because as kids, we were playing outside. And I was only 11. So I think that gut feeling from even as a child, we really need to pay attention to it. And that's a good program, because that's actually one of the things I'm trying to do, to really listen to that power we have inside that we ignore.
That's right.
So that's my story.
Thank you so
Very
much.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was great. You see, even from children. And so it almost begs the question that even when a child is about to do something wrong, you have that nagging, Andre. So sometimes when people say, oh, children do not know what they're doing, that's not always the case. Sometimes when they're about to do something, that little voice, parents normally describe it as that little voice inside of you telling you, no, don't do it. Vis-a-vis, they used to put the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder.
Yes. We have another call.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Unrestricted.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Lucas.
Good morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Thanks for accepting my call.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Lucas, I believe personally, I'm speaking from experience, the best way for one to follow his instinct or listen even to his instinct is when he's alone. Yeah. Because I can remember when I first had that problem in my eye, when I knocked that sliding door. My instinct told me to go and check a doctor the following day, But there was somebody with me, and the person like telling me this is normal because it's glass, it's nighttime. You see? But my instinct told me, go and see a doctor, check my eye the following day.
So you went against your instincts because you had somebody with you who were encouraging you differently, or who told you that there was nothing wrong. Okay.
Nothing wrong. And even the second time when I couldn't see the doorknob, I was with somebody again, and the person, and my instinct tell me to go and see a doctor again, but somebody was with me, and the person telling me like, because I come from the sun and I'm in the shade right now, that's why I didn't see the doorknob. But my instinct tell me, but this happened to you twice already. Go and see a doctor. And the third time, this happened to me when I was by myself, when I couldn't see the doorknob to my own home. I was by myself. And right away the following day I went and see a doctor, but it was almost too late. You see? That's why I say your instinct, somebody normally act on the instinct when they are alone, when the mind of or whatever the inner being of them tell them to do something.
So you think
they normally act on it when they are alone.
So you think people are normally
By
listening
themselves.
to other people before they listen to themselves?
You see, yeah. But if you're alone, your inner person tell you, and then you listen. But if you have another party there, it's a little difficult.
Okay.
my dear.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's an interesting
Always
spin.
calling.
That's a very interesting spin, the way he put it, Andre. Because what he's saying is that there's a battle between almost listening to people and listening to yourself. Because when he's with others, he takes their opinions or their decisions over his. So his instincts take a back seat only when he's alone.
Maybe it could be his personal experience in life. Maybe he's had experiences where he didn't take the advice of others and he did his own thing, and only to realize now that the people were right. So that could have been his experience.
Maybe, I guess you're right.
Maybe.
So then again, the relationship with yourself, you see, inadvertently he's hitting on that, because the trust, where is the trust of your own self? So based on what people are seeing, you go with people's decisions as opposed to what you're feeling and what you're seeing as well. So your eyesight is less accurate than if your friends tell you that something is amiss.
Yes.
So I mean, it's very interesting. I think maybe a lot of us do that. We listen to other people and we dismiss the instincts, because sometimes we can think that our instincts are trivial or it's not as important. or we're overthinking. There are times when we do think that we're overthinking.
I think most times
yeah.
we think that we are overthinking.
Yeah, so we say no. I think
Yeah.
you're overthinking this, or you're probably making up too much of it, or yes, you know. So no, you cannot do that. And then you ask somebody who is there, or somebody says no. And I think sometimes it's really it happens a lot where our friends and family go with us in terms of opposing our instincts. So they encourage us to not overthink or to not, do that. They would tell you, no, I don't think why would you think so? I think you should go. And you saying to them, well, my gut is telling me no, dismiss that. And so we end up listening to them more than we listen to ourselves.
Do you think politicians, because this happens a lot to them.
You see on your politics.
Yes, it happens a lot in the politics where they say things, and those things are held against them forever because they made a statement that was really, really off the top. Now, and I ask myself, I say, but didn't their instincts, didn't something say to them, don't say that, don't say it? I mean, I don't know. These I'm not really close to them, so I haven't had a chance to ask that question. But I wonder sometimes because they say some really outlandish things, and these things are held against them. So I'm just wondering whether before they say it, whether that little thing, the little bulb goes out in their head.
When we are emotional, Andre, we don't take the time to even consult with the instincts. The instincts sometimes just go out the window.
You think so?
And yes, of course. Some of us don't listen to anything. Do you take the time sometimes when people are angry or people are passionate about something, they don't take the time to listen to anything coming from their minds. They're so emotional about it. Maybe that's why.
But the fact that it comes, right, is not does not say to you, hey, stop. Don't say that.
It's an ignoring of the instinct.
But you think it actually comes into the mind?
Sometimes maybe it does. I don't know, but maybe it does.
Because the fact that people hold these things against them forever, that's powerful.
But it happens over time in terms of learning how to do that. That's what I'm saying. So now when you start to get to know yourself and you begin to spend some time with yourself and understand what do you really want to put out there, what sort of representation you want to put of yourself, then you can take the time to stop, so that when you are speaking or when you are emotional, you can say, I'm about to say this next thing. Should I say that? And if your instincts tell you no, you shouldn't say it, then you recalibrate. You know what I'm saying?
Never call. That's a good point you made there, Lotus. Very good point. Yeah, this is Unrestricted with Lotus.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Lotus, I don't know what to do again. I've given you a crash course as to how to use this headphone.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Unrestricted.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
And how's everybody doing?
We're very well, thank you. What about you?
I'm doing good so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting program. I've been listening to it
Yes.
all the time. Yesterday I listened to it too. I wanted to call again and then call. Today, I believe we need to understand a lot of things that is happening to us on this planet. Where we are, who we are, and what makes us what we are. But I honestly believe that most of the things we think we know, we do not know. Because we only learn it from somebody else. And we forget our own instinct, what our instinct will tell us. What the person, or what we learn from the person. That's my perspective in life.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Yes. He was kind of saying the same thing. So people are choosing to listen to people over their instincts. And I think that's what a lot of us, we are guilty of that, where we feel something, we know it deep inside, but we want to, especially too, I think, Andre, I think a lot of us, we are followers and we are not the leader of our own selves. Meaning that you might be sitting in a class and everybody says something is right. And you feel that it is wrong. You know that it is wrong. But for you to stand out and be on your own, it's daunting and you're afraid, only to find out that you actually had the right answer.
Exactly.
So we choose people's opinions or their positions over our instincts. A lot of us do that, where and we believe that we are it's outlandish. Sometimes even the thought what we're thinking, we say, no, why would I think so? Or why would, that happen? And if Andre comes and tell me, and especially if we place more trust in Andre, like we respect Andre, and we say, okay,
Yes.
since Andre is saying that, I don't think that I'm wrong. Yeah, I think I'm wrong. You know what I mean? So I will go with what Andre is saying, as opposed to what my gut is telling me. So we do not trust our gut.
Yes, especially if the person has been right before.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the goodwill of it, Andre.
Yes.
Or they're saying Andre has been this astute
Yeah,
person,
yes.
and so I will go with what Andre is saying as opposed to what I'm feeling inside. Now, they're saying also, when first impressions are key, your initial gut feelings when meeting someone or entering a situation for the first time, it's often based on subconscious processing of subtle cues from past experiences. So a lot of times you're doing something for the first time, you're meeting someone for the first time, and your instincts, it's talking to you, it's telling you certain things. They're saying that you should follow your instincts. Because it's a first impression, it's a first time, you should go with your gut and not necessarily ignore that and do otherwise. For decisions about personal peace, sometimes your heart or intuition can point to what is best for your long-term peace and growth, even if it isn't the most logical or materially beneficial choice. All right? So sometimes, Andre, something you're going to make a big decision, and something in your gut is telling you you should not do it at that time. But your back is against the wall sometimes, and you probably need to make the decision right away. You feel that there's some anxiety building inside you that's telling you, if you don't take that opportunity now, you're going to lose it, And for some reason, this little voice inside of you is saying, no, do not bite the bullet today. The stock price is going to go down tomorrow. But you've seen the stock price today as so good that your instincts keep nagging you, telling you. So it's saying that for decisions about personal peace, or even something that you may suffer later for, you should stop and listen, even when it looks as if it's a good thing right now. So if your instincts is telling you that, you should pause and say, okay, I should listen. And they're also saying when to use caution or balance with your instincts. So when you have complex or significant decisions, instincts can be misleading in complex situations where logic, data, and expertise is needed to avoid bias and incomplete information. So if it's something that is complex, Andre, and your instincts is telling you something, you might want to pause and say, okay, let me make a professional call. Let me see what the professionals think about that. And I think one of the callers mentioned, especially when you're looking at an instinct about your health, it is important to consult a physician, right? So you cannot just say maybe to yourself, okay, because a lot of times we diagnose ourselves, right? So we say, okay, I think it's gas, and your instincts is telling you should call a doctor, or or no, it's probably gas. That's a complex position. So you may want to call a physician, you may want to call somebody who might have some expertise. There may be some data that will help you to make that decision. So they're saying there's times when you need to balance it as well, and to say, let me see how I can help my own instincts to so I can feel better about the decision I'm about to make. When instincts are influenced by bias, so snap judgments, it can be biased or prejudiced and are not the same as a deeper, more persistent intuition. So some of us are just biased. Our instincts tell us we don't like that guy because he's too red. So in that case, it's a bias, and you should not. Your instincts it's judgmental. So it's saying that if you have a prejudice, so that is not the time to listen to your instincts, because you are, again, it's also knowing yourself and being honest with yourself as well, Andre, because some of us may not want to be honest. We may say, okay, it's just because this guy, he's a guy, it's a gender situation, it's a girl, and I should not do that. But that's not a good thing to base it on. Your instinct should not be, you should not listen in that case, because it's full of prejudice and it's full of judgment.
Let me just give the numbers again. The fixed line is 572-9710, 572-9710, or the WhatsApp platform, it is 287-730-8969. 0971. WhatsApp is 287-0971. I'm sure there are tons of stories that people could tell.
About the instincts, when we don't follow our instincts,
Yes,
or if we
I'm
should
sure
follow
of
them.
that. I'm
When
sure.
they're saying that when there is a risk of victim blaming, you should look at how you balance it as well. Relying too heavily on instinct can lead to blaming someone if a bad outcome occurs, especially since some wrongdoers can appear trustworthy. So the thing about it is that some of us, we want to rely on our instincts. If we already want to blame somebody, or the person did something and it came out, the outcome was wrong, we followed them and the outcome was wrong, so we want to say that the person was wrong in the first place. We want to follow our instincts and say that's what happened, the person was wrong. So they're saying in that case, you do not want to blame. If you don't want to use your instincts to blame people, it must be balanced, right? It must be a gut, and it must be balanced as well. So you want to watch that as well. When you are overthinking, and we spoke of overthinking a while ago, sometimes the answer is right in front of you, and overanalyzing can prevent you from seeing it. In these cases, a balanced approach can help you find a better answer than using just using logic alone.
You have a call, by the way.
I have a call.
This is Unrestricted with Lotus, and we have somebody on the fixed line.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my lady. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. What about you?
Good morning. I'm very well.
Morning.
I'm very well. I just came from the gym. I feel like $100,000.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
I.
great.
Yes, I.
That's good. Let's hear your 2 cents.
Yeah. Let me put my 2 cents in the mix. If I understand correctly, we're talking about when you don't listen to your instincts, right?
Well, yeah, we're talking about should you listen to your instincts? What are the instincts? What's telling you that it's, there's an instinct telling you something, your intuition? Do we listen?
Yeah,
Do we?
absolutely.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, let me expound on that a little. See, unfortunately, what happens when we live on this planet in this present administration, the Western administration, they've removed a lot of stuff from our learning what we need to know about our well-being and our environment, our everything.
Mhm.
Okay, for example, the Bible, the Treaty of Nicaea in 61, where Constantine and his followers, his religious leaders got together, and they removed a bunch of books from the Bible. But if you go to the Ethiopian Bible, it's complete. They didn't remove anything, because the reason why they removed it is to keep us ignorant and to also keep us devoid of the knowledge that the original Hebrews were black people. Christ is black, Moses is black, Solomon, all of them are black people, and they stole all of that from us. Now, what they are not telling us again is that when you are here on planet Earth in the physical, you also have the spiritual dimension in your life. They don't tell you about that. They remove that. So what happens is that when you live here on planet Earth in the physical, you do not consult the spiritual all the time. Now, when a human being is created, they always have a higher self. You understand? They have the higher self. So the intuition that you get in, where you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your spirit, but you omit it or you forget about it and say, boy, that's right, that's true. That is your higher self guiding you. You see? Now, when we don't listen to that, we're going to take flop. We're taking licks because we're not listening to divine guidance. Now, another thing again is that when we are born, now this is my opinion and this is my views.
Mhm.
I don't say this to try to influence anyone. I've been living on the planet for over 60 years, and this is what I have come to realize.
Okay.
And my daughter, who is 45 years old, one of my daughters, told me that, hey, Dad, we have angels guarding us. When I heard that, I said, what do you mean? She said, yeah, I have 2 angels in my home every night. One sitting in that sofa there, the other one in the bedroom. So I said, what? But she was absolutely right. You never go through a situation where you almost lose your life and something save you or pull you out of it. It's an angel that's doing that, boss. Now, if you're connected to the spiritual very strongly, these angels are more adamant in your life. They're more vigorous in your life. They will protect you more. If you are doing magie and you're committing sin or you're doing crime, they kind of pull away and they allow you to take your blows. But when you're a good human being,
so you believe that intuition is directly tied to the connection.
That's correct. You see, let me say one more thing. We live in the 4th dimension. Okay, it's a 3-dimension environment we live in the physical. But there are many other dimensions. I think it goes up to 12 or 14. You know, who knows how much the Creator can create? You know, but when they're up there in the spiritual, in the higher dimensions, there's no time. So they see your whole life from the moment you're born till the moment you die. They're going to see everything that's going to influence your life, everything that's going to impact your life, every experience you're going to experience. They see it all before it happens. So why you think the intuition is coming in and say, don't do that or do this? It's because they already know. That's my contribution, Andre.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so
very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
He said something very interesting. He was saying that basically, well, that's why I asked. It's almost like if your intuition, if your connection is not there with yourself or the higher power, that's what he was saying. It's like you receive less indications. Your intuition is weaker if the connection is not strong with your higher self.
Well, I think that's what we're saying. I was asking you earlier.
Yes. So
how do you connect with yourself?
But he spoke about angels not protecting you if you had a weaker intuition.
Well, of course, he's taking it to another level.
You understand?
Yeah.
But I guess again he was saying that was his views. But I think again that's what we were saying in terms of if you're not connected to yourself in terms of knowing and really listening to your gut, you to me you're not guided by that as well, because you just live in vitae, so to speak, right? So you're just moving in the world. You're not asking any questions. You're not taking the time to spend with yourself. So it's not coming. We have another call.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning. Welcome to Unrestricted.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did your instincts tell you to call?
Hello.
Did your instincts tell you to call?
No, I was listening to you, but the last caller made some statements which I need to clarify. The Council of Nature had nothing to do with the books of the Bible, right? And this thing about the books of the Bible had to do because we are black people, etc. I need to say to the caller and those listening that until the transatlantic slave trade, that's years later, when Columbus missed going to India via the West, called it the West Indies, etc., that we start calling people black and non-white, white and non-white. People were called Egyptians, Assyrians, Ethiopians, all of that is in the Bible, right? Some barriers, etc. All these places are in the Bible. He's right. The Bible is a book about African people. Moses, born in Egypt, grew up in Egypt, etc. They are black people. So that is a fact. But this has nothing to do with the Council of Nature. Again, in the same Bible, we read that God breathed into man, and man became a living soul. So therefore, the physical, which is the clay that God made, took the physical, he breathed into man. So everybody born with that spirit, that breath from God, that spiritual form. So therefore, we humans are both physical and spiritual. So the Catholic Church teaches us that people, and in the Bible, people were demon possessed, as well as we have angels, guardian angels that could guide and protect us. That's a Catholic teaching. I hope this guy is listening to me because he made some statements, and in fact, I was glad that again to clarify that it's his opinion. So Catholics grew up with angels. We understand they are good angels and they have demons, bad angels. Now the thing about instinct, it's true that we can be connected with the spiritual being because we also are spirits. But there are times, in fact, in the whole Bible, we have people about dreams. We know the story about Joseph and dreams. So there are many persons who dream things. And when they dream it, it comes to be true. People get even medication, remedies in dreams, just like in the Old Testament. Okay? How do you get that? So therefore, in the world, we have the spiritual realm and the physical realm. That spiritual realm is where we connect with the Most High. You understand me? Mm-hmm. So we could take dreams, etc. But there are many persons who have the gift of discernment. Some people have the gift of prophecy. Some people have the gift of speaking in tongues. All of that is said in the same Bible we talk about. But those with the gift of discernment and discern things. Because a lot of people tell you about my gut feeling. Yes, when you have gut feeling, it can be right. But then, that gut feeling may be right and may also not be right. Mm-hmm. Some people tell you about when they meet somebody, their spirit don't go with that person. So while it's true, sometimes your spirit don't go with the person. But we also told, don't judge a book by the cover. Remember that?
Yeah, but is that instinctual or just judgmental? Because there's a difference, eh?
Somebody, say, my spirit don't go with the person. I didn't think, right? We think that my spirit don't go with the person. We don't know the person. And in your reading, you're talking about we have preconceived notions. Because
so that's more
judgmental. Man is socialized, right? We don't know Andre Paul. People just don't know Andre Paul. When they meet Andre Paul, because of what they heard Andre Paul say, they are surprised they meet Andre Paul, right? So therefore, personally, I have learned when I meet person, so I have to make a judgment, etc. That is you so and so, right? I have my own experience. Fact, in sociology, I learned we are the sum total of our experiences. Mm-hmm. I cannot take out my experience from me. I cannot take out my learning from me. So when I meet you, right, I have to use all my experiences coming in the fork, right? That is you talking on the radio station. Mm-hmm. I mean, people all the time said that I speak to them. That is you calling Andre? I say, yeah, okay. Because they hear my voice, they don't know me, and that life continues like that. But the spiritual realm is real. God is real. Demon possession is real. Angels are real. That's my take on it. But this summer council I'm Nigeria, right?
Okay.
Has nothing to do with the books of the Bible. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all right. Yes.
Yes, Andre. I was just listening to him and how he broke down his own take.
Mm-hmm. Before you continue, I've been racking my brains for the last 45 minutes trying to think of an example in the Bible where somebody did something against their better judgment and this sort of thing, and how it bothered them. And I remembered the story of David. King David wanted to take a census of the nation because he was relying, at the time he thought that the nation was really, really powerful. The military was really, really powerful. So he wanted to take a census. So before he took the census, he asked the general of his army. In fact, he told him, go ahead and take the census. And the general said to him, I don't think that's a good idea, right? But he ignored the advice of the general. And while the census was taking place, the Bible says his spirit was troubled, right? It was really bothering him that he was doing something that was not pleasing to God at the time. Mm-hmm. But he still went ahead and did it anyway. And of course, the final analysis, it was just the most foolish thing. And the nation paid dearly for that,
Because of the census?
Yes, because he took that census, because he was relying more on the army, because that time God was the head, quote unquote, of the nation. Yeah. So he was showing a reliance on the army instead of reliance on God. So God took that personally. So, but the point is that the Bible says David's spirit troubled him about what he was doing.
Instincts.
Yeah. Exactly. So he should have stopped.
He should have stopped.
We have a call.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Unrestricted.
Andre Paul and Luthers, good morning. How you all doing?
Good morning.
sir.
We're well. What about you?
I am doing all right. Very interesting topic.
Thank you.
When I think of instinct is like your mind is telling you something. So it's like a decision you have to make. You have to either listen to your mind or say to yourself, I'm not doing that. I remember once I was standing by the Babono bus stand, and I saw a bus, number 183. And one time my mind told me to play that number.
I want to hear that story.
So I go and buy a ticket for $2, 183. That was like about 10 o'clock in the afternoon. 138 call.
138?
Yeah. So it didn't come out the way I
and the number was 183. The number you had was 183.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I bought so it came out 138. So I got $90. I said, "Wow, that was a very good instinct." But it's just that it did not come out. It didn't come
in
out
the order.
well.
Yes, in the order. Yeah.
Now, let me see. Another experience I had was I used to do taxi. So I dropped some people on the airport in Vieux. And when I left, I had to go back to Carthage, but I didn't go back to Carthage. I just take a right turn. I went to Vieux, just make a right turn, and then I head back to Carthage. When I get to an area by Monrepo, they had a bad accident. So I'm thinking, maybe if I had made that left turn to go back to Carthage, I would have gotten involved in an accident.
Okay.
So I followed. That was a good instinct too.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is a very strange thing when you either follow your instinct or when you deny your instinct.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much.
You just don't know what's going to happen.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Now, Lotus, a few years ago when I was on Radio 100, I interviewed a lady, okay, and she said so public, this way I can repeat it. I don't have to without mentioning her name. She said that she was a mule for a drug, a drugs dealer, right? And she said that she was beginning to, feel very uncomfortable with doing this after so many years. She was afraid that she'll get caught and so on, and she didn't want to get caught. But anyway, this person came and said to her, "Hey, this will be the last one, okay?" So she said, "Okay, I did it so many times already. I might as well just do it for the last time." And I think it was the last time, okay? So she said she was on her way down to Vieux Fort, and when they got to the gap where you have the Bordelais Correctional Facility, she said the vehicle broke down right there, okay? She said it broke down right there. So she had to make a choice. Do I take another bus and go down to Vieux Fort and finish the job, or go back home? Because she said that was so strange that it would break down right there.
Connecting the dots to the prison.
Exactly, exactly. So she said, boy, do I go back? Do I, finish the job? That kind of thing. And she said, something? All right. I might as well. I'm already here. Might as well just go down. Or maybe I was overthinking.
Yes.
Yeah. So she went down. And she said as soon as she got down there, the customs officers came after her, and she was arrested and taken to Bordelais. She said she did 2 years there.
Oh my goodness!
Okay, because of what she had done. So that just came to my mind.
It's almost like she had that
premonition kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Yeah, that
Was
something
happening.
bad was going to
Something
happen.
was, yeah.
There's a sign, something saying to her,
Something, the nudging.
yeah, stop it.
Something was saying.
Don't go. Don't continue.
It's Andre. Sometimes when you think something is off in it, even in your relationship, if your romantic partner is acting in a way that is questionable, sometimes your instincts tell you.
But even before that, even before you talk
something
about
is
romantic
off.
partner, even when you meet the person, there's a vibe.
Something might be your
There's
instincts
something-
is saying to you.
And by the way, while we getting those vibes, the other person getting the vibes as well.
Yeah,
eh?
whatever. But the thing is, Andre, are you listening to you? You have to listen to your instincts. Are you paying attention?
Yes.
What is it? And sometimes you can connect the dots as clearly. Your instinct sometimes communicates in such a way that is so clear. And some of us just ignore it blatantly.
Do you think, talking about finding yourself and knowing yourself, do you think that people who are more spiritually inclined, when I say spiritually inclined, these are people who do a lot of meditating, people who pray a lot and this sort of thing. Do you think those things, those natural instincts are
without knowing,
more acute, more sensitive?
Without knowing all the properties of meditation and staying quiet, without knowing all of it, I think I would say there is some merit, because you get an opportunity to sit quietly and to really tap into your thoughts and see what is happening, how you feel, and of course energy. People talk about energy all the time. This is something that I have learned to rely on with myself. Once my energy is, you can tap into how you feel about something, and your instincts tell you something. Again, if you listen, it's always almost 100%. You can connect the dots afterwards, if you followed it or if you didn't.
We have to wrap up.
Yes. Okay. So anyway, I was saying, the last set. If you don't listen, there are psychological consequences, self-deception and regret, the increased anxiety and stress, the stagnation and self-doubt. That's if you don't listen to your instincts, loss of your authenticity and loss of your voice. They're saying that there's cognitive effects, poor decision making, vulnerability to manipulation. That's if you don't listen. So we have to take the time to really get to know ourselves, tap into ourselves, and increase or improve our intuition so we can, have a better life, so to speak.
Lotus, I think that was a very, very important subject. Very much so. And maybe a lot of us don't even take time to think about those things. So maybe the fact that you brought it up today, maybe people are now saying, hey, I've gone through that already.
That's right.
And maybe I should be listening to my instincts a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much for our callers. Thank you so much. Andre, the headphones are something else. But thank you. Welcome to thank you for listening to Unrestricted, and see you next week Wednesday.
Thank you very much, Lotus, for your service. Thank you so much. This has been Unrestricted, heard and seen on Rev-Up St. Lucia every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now, coming up at 10 o'clock this morning is going to be Mind Matters with Dr. Julius Gilliard. That's coming up at 10, Mind Matters. But just before that, we have another public service announcement given by independent candidate for Ancillary Canaries, Mr. Elwin St. Rose. He's speaking on the subject of the privilege of serving one's nation.
My fellow St. Lucians and my brothers and sisters in Ancillary Canaries, today I want to speak to you on the topic, the privilege of serving one's nation. Government is a national